So when you guys hear about police brutality or police murders or shootings or whatever, what goes through your head nowadays? After all the occurrences of the last year, and we're not even through some of the worst parts of what has happened in the last year. We've not even made it that far yet. But what goes through your head when you hear about these things? I'm to the point with it that when I hear about it, I don't even ask questions anymore. I mean, because 98% of every police shooting or police involved incident throughout the last summer was justified. Throughout the last year has been justified. There's only been one or two that has been deemed a non-necessary or unjustified murder. So, to me, I have a very strong sense of, if you don't want a bad run-in with the law, don't break the law. Don't do something stupid. I know that there is the occasion that, something happens, somebody gets shot or somebody gets hurt, and it was not really the person's fault. Something else that makes me think of is all we heard for the last year, especially last summer, was defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. Okay, police are hunting down and killing black people, and often in record numbers. So, just in the 4th of July weekend, there was over 100 people shot in Chicago alone. In Chicago alone. So, you're telling me that all those people that were shot in Chicago were hunted down by the police and shot by the law. They were shot by other black people. I'm not saying everybody shot was black, and I'm not saying everybody that shot somebody was black. So all these people died because of their own doing, because of their reaction to their situation that they're put in with the law enforcement. And all of a sudden, the police are demonized over this. And police have to stand there and watch this city be destroyed, and watch people get hurt, and watch the violence and the looting, and they get things thrown at them. They get body fluids thrown at them. They get their cars smashed and set on fire. They get attacked. But they're supposed to stand there and not say anything because it's freedom of speech, because they're protesting. Well, what the real problem is that nobody wants to admit, or at least nobody from Chicago or none of these left-wing nuts, they don't want to admit that it's black people killing black people. It's not the law out there hunting down black people and shooting them in the street. You see all these videos? Every video is, like an intersection with 150 people in it, up on cop cars, and come on, man. It ain't the cops offing people. It's the lack of respect for each other, the lack of care for each other, the lack of care for human life, the lack of care for their own life. Because it's just insane to me that you can put that any other way. You can't blame the cops no more, because when you have weekends and you have days where it's like the highest day for murder in American history or some shit, then you lose all. Now, if you can come and prove and say, well, this is the cops, or mostly this was the cops shooting people that day, okay, wait, whatever, okay, then we'll talk about it. But it's not. It's the people from these neighborhoods shooting and killing each other. The cops didn't go and shoot 18 kids. I think it was 18 kids over 4th of July, the weekend that was shot. The cops didn't do that. They didn't go through that neighborhood and shoot them kids. Y'all shot them kids shooting at each other. And then you want to blame everybody else because you're oppressed and because your people can't get out of the hood.
Well, your people are killing each other and blaming everybody else,
when really the whole entire world sees how full of shit you are. There's no more blame the police. There's no more defund the police, because every bit of it is your fault. Your people kill each other and blame other people because you have a hard time in life. If you are raised to disregard human life for the simple fact of culture, or you can say, well, it's just culture. Well, that is all bullshit. It's not culture, because that's not American culture. That's family, mentally bred culture. You cannot tell your kids or teach your kids that this is just the way it is, and so it's okay to do this, it's okay to be a certain way, act a certain way, because we are oppressed, or because we're black. No, oppression is not being able to speak your mind. Oppression is when someone has an argument with what you're saying, you're not allowed to speak back, or they want to fight you. That's oppression. Oppression is they get out here in the street and hold signs and loot and burn and murder and kill and beat up and destroy cop cars and everything else. But then there's the other side, that if those people, we're not gonna say we will, so those people, those other side was to do that, it would be jail and shot dead in the street. There would be no just stand by and let it happen. What needs to happen is, and it never will, because as long as the media is involved and social media is involved, it'll never happen. But what needs to happen is we all need to try to work together and push out what really is dividing us. Because it ain't us. But I'm telling you, if you take a white man and a black man and you put them in the same room, even if they have differences or there's a little bit of tension or whatever, it won't take long for them to start talking. It won't take long for them to realize that there's a lot of bullshit that gets fed to people. Nowadays don't think for themselves. They rely on what they read on their phones. They rely on what they see on the news. That is a huge problem. As long as people are not held accountable for what they're really doing and how they really act and the way their communities are handled and their communities are acting. And you can say you can't control your community, but I'm not saying control your community, but you can set a positive influence in the community instead of encouraging the bad behavior because, oh, well, it's just culture. It's not just culture. That's a culture that is taught. Culture that is genuine isn't loot, burn, steal, and murder just because one person got killed by the cops or because somebody doesn't agree with you. I don't know, man. I'm just tired of I'm just tired of this. His fault, her fault, their fault, your fault. Not my fault though. Not my fault though. It's all bullshit. At some point, you have to take accountability and own up to the fact that maybe it is our behavior. Maybe it is the way we act when we had these encounters. Well, if you guys agree, be sure you guys leave a like. Share the video as quick as you can before it gets, shadow banned or whatever. I'm not saying it's just my channel. Every channel like these channels, like my channel, they all get picked on and shadow banned, and it makes it hard to get views. Make sure you guys share it. Leave a like if you agree. Leave a dislike if you don't agree. It doesn't matter to me. But either way, I appreciate you guys' support, and I will holler at you guys later.